Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and to another video filmed in my bedroom since, yes, once again, it is pretty cold and grey and rainy outside. Welcome to December in the UK. It's actually the 22nd of December as I'm filming this, so that means it's like 2.5 days until Christmas. What? I know I say it every year, but it really has gone quickly this year. I hope you're looking forward to the day itself if you are celebrating. I've just about finished my Christmas shopping now, I think, although I'm not really too sure what I've bought. It's just a matter of waiting for parcels to arrive. Knowing me, I'll probably be wrapping everything on Christmas Eve. So following on from last week's video, I thought today I would talk about the story of how I opened my cake shop, or at least how it all came about, since a lot of people seem to be interested in this. For me, it was one of those things that just kind of happened. It definitely wasn't planned, but I knew it was the right thing to do. Before I got my shop, I was just kind of plodding through life as you do, wasn't too sure what I was doing myself. I was okay, but I can't say I was overly happy. I had a part-time job and I was making cakes from home as a business, although it wasn't really that serious back then. One day I was having a walk around some of the streets in my local area and I walked down one of my favourite streets and I spotted this place which used to be a bike shop. And I noticed that it was empty, and I remember thinking to myself, I wonder what's going to happen there then. And then after that I got a second thought and I said, that would make a pretty cool cake shop. And I got the idea into my head. I went up to my parents' house one Sunday evening for dinner and we had some family over and I was sitting next to my dad. We were having just kind of general conversation, then halfway through I kind of mentioned this place that I'd seen and I said to him, Dad, that would make a pretty cool cake shop, wouldn't it? And he went, yeah, I suppose it would. And at that moment I was like, yes. I think in my head I was like, okay, I've got my dad's approval now. I need to do this. And that's when I started to take action on things. I decided to go into the bike shop that used to be in this place because they'd actually moved to a new location down the road, and I asked them what was happening with it. They basically told me that they had moved now and it was empty. So the guy in there, Ed, he gave me his business card, which I have still kept to remind me of this time, and he wrote the landlord's number on the back. So in the next few days I gave the landlord a call and basically said that I was interested in the place, even though at the time I had no plans whatsoever to actually open a cake shop. There were many more phone calls made and emails sent. It's all a bit of a blur really, but I'm going to try and explain it in the best way possible. But I basically just kind of kept going with it and told the landlord that I was thinking of turning the place into a cake shop, maybe a cafe. I told my parents about it. In fact, I remember the day that I was in my old flat and I told my mum all my ideas, and I remember I was just so like happy and excited and full of energy, and the response that I got back, it wasn't quite what I was expecting. I think she looked more concerned, maybe because she has also started up a business and opened a tea room, so she knows how difficult it is. I guess I didn't really feel like I had my parents' full support. It was just a completely random thing that I hadn't exactly planned out. But I'd never felt so excited and motivated about something, which is why I kind of kept going along with it, and it was almost a bit of fun when it started, as mad as that sounds, and I wanted to see how far I could actually get with it. I then met the landlord at the shop and he showed me around the place. I completely fell in love and I wanted it to be mine. So after that day, I would walk past the place pretty much every single day, and I imagined myself being there. And then this funny thing happened. I'm not quite sure when it was, but again, I was walking down one of the streets in my local area and I had this weird moment. It was like something outside of myself was almost giving me a sign or trying to tell me something, but I just remember stopping in the middle of the street and I had this inner knowing that I had to do this. I had to have that place and open the shop. It's so hard to explain it, but I've never felt something so powerful come over me. I wasn't entirely sure what I was doing, to be honest. I didn't have a proper plan. My parents were kind of swaying me away from doing it, but my heart and my gut were telling me otherwise, and I just couldn't ignore it. I continued to visualize myself being there and having a cake shop in the place. I visualized it that much that it was practically real for me. It was like I was already living that dream. I didn't know anything about the law of attraction at the time. In fact, I hadn't even heard of it. But looking back, I realize now that my thoughts, my feelings, and my actions were all perfectly aligned. It was like there was nothing that could stop this from happening. I really didn't have much of an idea what I was doing or how I was going to do it, but I kept taking small steps every day, and to be honest, everything just kind of fell into place naturally. I think the hardest part for me was going against what my family wanted, or at least it felt like I was going against them. I know it was just because they were very worried and concerned for me. I hadn't been in the best place, and for me to suddenly just get this idea into my head of opening a cake shop and going through with it, I can understand why they acted the way they did. I don't know, it kind of felt like this was a real turning point in my life. It was like, this is the thing that's going to make me. Well, it would make me or break me, I guess. That's normally what happens in most circumstances. But I knew it was the thing that was going to change my life, even though nobody else could see it at the time. I remember very clearly the day that I actually made the decision that I was going to take on the place, and next thing you know, there I am signing a lease. It was the scariest thing I have ever done, and of course you never know for certain that it's going to work out okay, but I think I just reached that point in life where I thought, you know what, I've got nothing to lose. I got the place in November 2013, I think the year was. It was like 5 years ago. And then I opened up the shop on the 25th of January the following year. So it took about 2 months to get the place ready and looking how I wanted it to be. I remember the first day that I opened, I had so many people in and out. It was amazing and it went very quickly. But at the end of the day, when everyone had gone home, I was just left in my shop on my own. It started throwing it down with rain and I just kind of stared out of the window, and it was such a surreal moment. It almost felt like a dream, and it was an amazing feeling to know that I did it. I got there, even though it seemed almost like an impossible dream at the time. I guess it shows that with pure positive focus, belief, and allowing yourself to dream a little bit, most importantly, you really can achieve whatever you set your mind to. So that's my law of attraction story, or at least one of them. This has definitely been one of my biggest manifestations to date. I would love to speak more on this subject, so if you have any questions for me, please do pop them in the comments below and I will happily answer them for you. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate that. And I guess I won't see you now before Christmas, so I hope you all have a really lovely time, whatever it is you may be doing. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!